Today we're going to be talking about energy. Hello, welcome to the YouTube channel again, and today we're going to be talking about energy. A lot of you have met my mother, now it's time to meet my father. This would be he. This is Tom Heron, and I'm absolutely privileged to share this video on energy and possibly even a couple more with you today. And yeah, tell me a little bit before we get into the energy aspect. Tell me a little bit about just you and your, I don't even know if I want to call it spiritualness, but a moment of your journey. Apparently I didn't tell him about this part.
I didn't hear anything about this part. My spiritual journey. I think I like to say I'm Buddhist. However, I have different interpretations of strict Buddhism. I'm more into the spiritual side of the Buddhist practice than following the rules and regulations of Buddhism. And my take on what I just said about following the spiritualism of Buddhism, it also interacts with spiritualism of Christianity, of Judaism, of Islam, of
everything, really.
Everything. It's spiritualism, but I have a basis of believing in the Buddhist side, which is really putting the responsibility back on you as the one that is traveling the journey versus into a external God or an external prophet that is just that, a prophet or a guide, but you have to do the work. And that's what I believe the basis of Buddhism is about, is that you have to do the work. So
yeah, that's a great answer. Nice ad-libbed answer.
All right.
Good one. And I think to me, it sets up a little bit about where we're going. If it's just this video, if there's a couple more videos with us, that it's not a dogma or a religion or a thought process. It's many thought processes.
It's a process.
Yeah.
And it's a philosophy more than a process.
Yeah. So today's topic with energy, and we were chatting before about maybe that's not the right word. How do we want to define energy?
And I've defined energy as emotions, as thoughts, as what is ever coming to you. If you've got anger, that's an energy. If you've got love, that's an energy. If you've got fear or desire, those are all energies. So anything that's coming at you, what we were talking about is, if they're there, you've created them.
Yeah.
And they are there because you've either asked them to be, you've created them, or you, quite truthfully, haven't got rid of them yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. The other day I was at a workshop and we were talking about the positive intentions behind things. And there was a girl that, I think her thing was perfectionism or procrastination or anxiety. I don't exactly remember what, but we kind of chunked up, that was like that energy or that emotion that's coming in. And we found out what is the intention of it. And she said, well, it's peace. I need peace. And she said, but that doesn't work. And I said, what do you mean that doesn't work? And she said, I've tried to have peace and I try and bring peace into my life, but then I can't live my life. And it's almost like she's talking about that Zen-like state, that then she's trying to pay the bills with that. But I think even, if it's anxiety or even, physical stuff like headaches and neck aches, that's also energy.
Sure.
And to me, that energy can be within. It can push on me. It can come in. And then, like you said, it has a right to be there. What do we do with it when we notice it?
Well, let me tell you a story, at least an analogy of energy having a right to be there. Because it has a right to be there, it's knocking on your door. Mm-hmm. And it has the right to come and knock on the door because you created it. You invited it into your life, whether you invited it to your door right at the moment, but it has a right to knock on the door. You have the right to answer the door and invite it in. You can leave it at the door. Oh, that's anger knocking on my door. Oh, I acknowledge the fact that anger is knocking on my door, but I don't have to invite it in. If you invite it in, you have the right to say, go away. But you also have the right to have it sit down and feed it. Now, you can do that with love. You can do that with desire. You can do that with anger. But it has a right to be there, and what you do with that is entirely up to you. That's where your free choice comes in.
Absolutely. I think that there's from if I take it to an NLP perspective, is that choice is better than no choice.
Sure.
And we have all the resources we need to handle a certain situation.
Yes.
And I think also bringing in an aspect that every behavior, emotion, state, feeling, energy has a positive intention. That I think that anger that knocks on the door, it has the right to be there. I think there's probably a positive intention behind that anger. Or is it just anger?
Well, why is anger there? Usually it's there to protect you of some sort, whether it's fear. And I've heard that anger is always based on some kind of fear, which is fear is there to protect you.
Yeah.
So anger is just a form of fear, and it's to protect you.
Yeah. How about the good energy? And maybe energy again isn't the right word.
Well, good emotions, love and peace and joy, and those you say, oh, love is knocking at the door. Let's invite it in. Sit down. Let's play with you.
Yeah.
Let's see how far and what it looks like. And
how come you think some people are more ready to open their door to seemingly negatives, fear and anger, and more reluctant to open to positive things? Because there are some people, it seems, they shut out the good and open to the bad.
First thought that comes to mind is habit. What were your parents like? How were you raised? What was the environment you learned your responses from? If you lived in a loving, caring, sharing environment, most likely you would respond that way. If you come into a less than loving, you're going to respond how you learn to respond. That's where the free choice comes in, and awareness, acceptance, action all come into play. You're aware of the anger, or you're aware of the love. You accept, yeah, I'm angry, or yes, I'm loving. And then you have a choice, and that's where the realm of living in free choice comes.
How about because there are people that will block negative emotions. Maybe they have a belief that anger is bad, or guilt is bad, or sadness is bad. Because again, how are we brought up? What did we learn to believe? And there's some people that I meet that seem to put on this, like they've got this mask.
Yeah.
And if something seemingly negative comes in, they either dash it away, or what happens if we don't acknowledge the emotions that are coming in?
Are you aware of the emotion coming in? Let me ask you. And if you're aware of anger coming in, and you acknowledge anger's coming in, because it sounds like you have to acknowledge, you have to be aware, you have to acknowledge, and your choice is to push it away. So you've done...
Still a choice.
It's still a choice. It's still at that point of burying it or whatever. If you, and to carry the story a little further, if you allow that anger or whatever that is negative to knock on the door, you acknowledge it. And your choice is to let it stand there and knock on the door. It's going to get tired of knocking on the door eventually. And it's going to go away. Next time it comes, it still will knock on the door. You still say, oh, anger's at the door, and you let it sit there and knock on the door. And so you can sit there and, oh, anger. I don't have to feed it.
Yeah. It's just
but I
there.
acknowledge it, and it's churning in the background, and I go on with
Yeah.
my life, and I be as positive I can in the fact that anger is knocking at the door or whatever. It's going to go away.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, maybe in a different regard, of pushing it away. Are you really truly acknowledging it and accepting it?
Yeah, I would say not. I would say in that case, not accepting it.
Yeah, you're not accepting it.
Yeah. And then I think when people don't accept an emotion or a thought or whatever it is, then they start to fight with it.
Well, then you've kind of invited it in.
Yeah, true.
In its own regard,
Yeah.
and you are
It has a place
feeding
at the
it
table.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you are acknowledging it or not, it's still sitting at the table churning.
Yeah. How does then like people who get stuck in energies or in their body, there's an energy that's stuck. Is that the same kind of energy? Like from Reiki, or I think Feldenkrais uses energy, or lots of those things that I don't know much about.
You can do the same thing. You can acknowledge the fact that your leg hurts. Depending if it's a physical pain, it's physical pain, and you have to do something with it. If it's emotional pain that's stuck in your leg, your gut, your heart, your shoulders, because your whole body is a battery of sorts of energies. And a lot of theory is that it holds your emotions are held physically. And if you can acknowledge and allow that energy to be there, my leg hurts. When you're sitting in meditation, my back hurts. It's a physical pain, but if you allow it to be there and you don't move around and just allow it to be there, it will go away. And if it's an emotional energy in a body, it will work itself out and go away.
Yeah.
But you have to allow it the time to go away.
That makes sense.
Versus moving initially.
Yeah.
And if you do move, or you do allow it, and your action is to do it consciously, versus my neck hurts, my back hurts, versus my back hurts, oh, what am I going to do about it? Is it going to go away? Oh, I'll move. Oh, my back doesn't hurt now. And then you go on with whatever you're doing.
So make that conscious awareness.
It's a conscious awareness.
Yeah, I like that. So what should we do with that information for today's topic of just energy, just awareness? Sit, meditate.
Understand it's a choice. But you have to be, one, aware of it. Two, you have to acknowledge it. And your action is your choice. You can either act or not act.
Yeah. I like this. I think we should do another one.
What do you want to do now?
We'll be back.